Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer with the DRF race of the day for New Year's Eve. It's race number 7 at Santa Anita, the $75,000 Blue Northern Stakes for 2-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. Let's take a peek at this field. You can download free formulator past performances for the New Year's Eve edition of the race of the day on the race of the day event page at drf.com. Access them and handicap along with us. Mike, we got several horses coming out of the Jimmy Durante at Del Mar on November the 28th. I thought that was a race that featured a fast pace. It kind of fell apart late, and we've got a couple of these closers back in for more.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 horses that are exiting that Jimmy Durante, they finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in there. Listen, I don't know, Dan. I thought they all ran well in there. Maybe they had the best of it as far as the race flow goes. But I felt like if you could take each one of their trips and sort of make a little bit of an excuse for them, it's a very interesting rematch among those 3.
I think you make a good point, and we'll dive into those trips when we discuss those horses. But let's first discuss the Timeform US pace projector. The number 2, Michael Scott, 20-1 on the morning line, expected to make the lead. Now, she came from off the pace in her debut on dirt, going 5.5 furlongs. I think she can make the lead with an aggressive ride, maybe Royal Blend the 7. These are the 2 horses stretching out, trying turf for the first time. It's a curious pace situation if these horses don't take to turf or don't want to go.
Yeah, and if they're just not good enough, I mean, there are real questions about those 2 horses. If they're going to be showing the way early, maybe the trip will really work to their advantage, Dan, but I just couldn't talk myself into either one of those horses.
Let's talk about the horse that finished best of those exiting the Grade 3 Jimmy Durante. That's the one, Javanica. Let's watch her race in the Durante, going out for Owen Hardy, who upset the La Brea over the weekend with Fair Maiden. You see Javanica in the Godolphin Blue. On the far outside is the 9 horse, who is Quattro L coming back in this race. Pizzazz was making a brief lead. Javanica was kind of held up behind horses for a little while, and she finishes with a plum.
Yeah, I thought she ran well in here, Dan. It just, happened to be that she was over behind horses while the winner, Fluffy Socks, got first run on her. Once she got into the clear, I really liked the way that she finished and chased that horse home. 2 starts back when she broke her maiden, the first time they stretched her out on turf. I thought she ran well that day, too. She's got a great post. Her turf form is very good. I think she's a major player in here.
I have to agree with you. And even her race at Woodbine over the synthetic, she took on a very promising horse. I think you're going to hear a lot from Super Sensational in 2021. And Javanica was not embarrassed by that horse at all. And I think she has enough tactical speed to sit a good trip close to the pace. Michael Ska's the number 2. This is a Jimmy Creed filly trying turf for the first time. I wouldn't be surprised if she handles it. I think there's enough pedigree here to say she can. And she ran all right in her debut on the dirt.
Yeah, I thought she looked good winning her first start. They're sort of asking a lot here, Dan, stepping her way up, stretching her way out, and they're doing it against a pretty good field. I mean, all of those horses coming out of that Jimmy Durante, they ran well. This horse is going to have to take a step forward.
Carpe Fortuna, the number 3, did some good things in her second lifetime start. Just consider she was coming off of a 3-month layoff and stretching out 3 furlongs, and she produced this effort on November the 27th. I thought she worked out a really nice inside-out trip under Mario Gutierrez. She takes over the lead, and once she's in front, they're not going near her.
Yeah, I mean, she did get a perfect trip in this race, but she obviously wins very easily as well, Dan. I mean, just ridden out at the end here. Really impressive win for her. Another horse, she's going to step way up in class here. But she ran very well last time. And I like her tactical speed, too.
Quattro L is the number 4. We saw her finishing 3rd in the Jimmy Durante, and you can go into those formulator past performances, those free formulator past performances, and you can watch the replay. Quattro L was last going into the far turn, and it looked like she got bumped pretty hard and forced out entering the turn and ended up 6-7 wide turning into the stretch. Now, it looked like she started her run on even terms with the Godolphin filly and was just out-kicked, but she lost a lot of ground all the way around the second turn.
Yeah, I mean, she was basically wide the entire way around the track, too. I don't know how much. Listen, she had post 9 in there, so I don't know what options Bays necessarily had there. But I don't know. I didn't necessarily like the way that he rode her. He just took her in hand from the start, but never tried to save any ground with her. I mean, she just got hung out very wide in there. I actually felt like she ran well. I liked her maiden win prior to that first time in this country. And even going back and watching her race in Ireland, Dan, she ran well that day in her debut. She was a huge price in that race, but she really ran, and she was green. This horse has some talent.
Derby Quest is the number 5, and this filly really took advantage of a drop in class last time out and switching back to the turf. Let's watch that $80,000 maiden claimer on November the 22nd. What a pace this setup was. 22-2, 46-1. This pace falls apart. Derby Quest in the clear under Giovanni Franco storms him down.
Yeah, fast-paced closers race, and she really took advantage here. So she looks good winning, but she just had everything go her way, and now she's just stepping into a much tougher spot.
Now, the 4th place finisher of the Jimmy Durante's up next, Pizzazz. And if you want to make the excuse for her that she was one of the first to move into kind of the teeth of the pace, we saw the winner come from off of it. We saw Javanica and Quattro L come from off of it. Pizzazz made the first run, and maybe that tired her out a little bit. She's been very, very consistent, and she's got some tactical speed as well. Note that race 2 starts back. If the 2 expected speeds don't go, Mike Smith's going to have this horse up close, and she might get the jump on the other 2 again, this time off more moderate fractions.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to probably look at her. Just think she could get an easier trip up close this time. And again, and you're right, she did make the first run around the second turn there, but she went ahead of the 1, 2, 3 finishers in there to make the early lead. And then she just got a little tired at the end. I can't say that I loved her performance last time, but there's a way to look at it and think that she could run better in this race. Dan, she's 2-1 morning line favorite. I don't think I'd be betting her as the favorite in here, but she could clearly win.
Interesting entrance, the 7 Royal Blend. First time off the Hess claim. This is still a maiden. She improved last time out, going 6 furlongs. She has a nice pedigree. This is a tough field for a maiden who just missed for 50 last time out.
Yeah, I mean, she's still a maiden. She's never gone beyond 6 furlongs in her career, never run on turf, and she's stepping up out of a maiden claiming race. There's a lot working against her. She's going to have to be a lot better on the grass.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the New Year's Eve feature race, the Blue Norther. Mike, you're going with the outside horse, the European Invader, the 8, Absolute Scenes. Joel Rosario takes them out for her North American debut. I really like the way she kicked clear over the synthetic surface last time out. She's going to try turf for the first time. I think she has some potential. Tell me what you saw from her last race.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of just sort of, wanting a new face in here, Dan. Again, I thought the horses out of the Jimmy Durante were a little hard to separate for me. I guess I slightly prefer the horse down on the rail. But I just wanted a new face in here, and I just like the progression that this filly's made in her first 3 starts. In her debut, they showed speed with her. She contested the pace in a race where the 1-2 finishers came from way out of it to run 1-2. She took a little bit of a step forward in her second start, and then she blasted that field last time. First time in with fillies, sat a nice trip, just absolutely buried that field through the stretch. I know she's never run on turf. I can't imagine the turf is going to be her excuse in this race based on her pedigree. If the competition's too tough, it's too tough. But I think she's going to be a good price in this race, and I feel like she's shown some talent in her first 3 starts.
And I really think the key for her is the break, depending on the pace scenario. If these 2 stretch-out horses on dirt go guns blazing, it sets up very nicely for her. And as Mike mentioned, she really did show a nice kick last time out on the synthetic. She will be a good price in this race and is a very interesting play in your New Year's Eve race of the day. Mike's going 8-1-4-3. I think Quattro L might have been compromised a little bit by being forced out entering the second turn very wide in the stretch. I want her to get covered up this time and maybe make 1 run late, and we'll see. I like to race 2 starts back as well. 8-1-4-3 for Mike, 4-1-6-3 for me. Happy New Year, everybody.